You may remember last year in class 3 and also at the beginning of last term in class 4, you were learning a little bit about how our brains work and how this relates to your learning. Well, we're building on that learning this week as we're going to be diving into the science to better understand how our brains work and how we're going to be using this understanding to improve our own learning. In today's lesson, we're going to be digging really deep into learning about some of the different ways our brains work and their function. Specifically, we'll be looking closely at neurons, which, by the way, exist in their billions in the human brain, and they are fundamentally important to the working of our brains. You may remember last term that neurons are specialized cells that carry lots and lots of information, a lot like wires do, using tiny little electrical impulses. In this lesson, you will learn how these neurons work by finding out about the different parts of an individual neuron and the roles that each of these parts play, such as the dendrites, axon, synapse, and neurotransmitters. Once you've read through all of the information on the slides and watched the video, you'll be ready for today's task, which is on a Google Doc attached to this assignment. For this task, you're going to draw and label a simple diagram of a neuron. You will then, in your own words, need to explain about the roles of different parts of a neuron. As said before, the dendrites, axon, synapse, and neurotransmitters. Incidentally, you should hand draw and label your diagram and take a photograph of it to upload to your Google Drive and then insert into the Google Doc. Having done this, you'll then be ready to use a new term known as plasticity, and you're going to write about how all of this information about neurons is relevant to your own learning. So all that remains to be said is that neurons are an incredibly interesting and important aspect of how we're able to learn. And it's well worth you taking today's lesson to really dive in deep and learn all you can about neurons.